Do I need to order more medication? Have I taken my antidepressant this morning? I wonder if my dog would like a change up in her food. Or would that just upset her stomach and she'd just poo everywhere like last time? When will my ears stop ringing from Heavy Scotland Festival that I went to this weekend? Can I legitimately just turn this film off and rationalise it in the review by saying it was so dull I couldn't get through it? In the spirit of apparently 86% of YouTube videos, what's up you guys? I'm RJ Bayley here from Popcorn Horror, and those were just a few of the thoughts that were going through my head as I watched Romeo's Distress, written and directed by Jeff Frumes, or Frumes. I'm really sorry for butchering your name. I'm new to doing it in audio. I didn't have to think about it when I just wrote the reviews down. So, obviously, it struggled to keep my attention. It can be difficult to review independent horror films, especially those like this in the micro to no budget category. Firstly, on a rating system of 1 to 5 stars, how can I compare much of the stuff I watch to 5-star movies like The Shining or The Texas Chainsaw Massacre? I'd be handing out an awful lot of 1-star or no-star reviews if I did. So I feel the need to take into account the resources evidently available to the filmmakers. On the other hand, I don't want to patronise the filmmakers and put them in their own little boo-boo category for wannabe filmmakers, because that's really gross. Secondly, I want to encourage independent horror, a genre that you can get a lot of mileage out of if you're on a low budget, and I don't want artists to be put down too harshly by what I say or make them feel bad. However, I also don't want to encourage people having a low budget and deciding to do a horror film as a result of that just because they think horror is easy to do on a low budget. Because it's not. Romeo's Distress is a case in point. I mean, hats off to everyone involved in making Romeo's Distress for actually getting a feature film made. I doff my cap to you in that regard. The problem is, it's really quite boring. Firstly, the camera is, for the most part, painfully static. It's just shot, reverse shot, over and over until a scene is done, and not even from particularly interesting angles. This is compounded by the fact the film is, for the most part, in black and white. I understand that it's a reflection of our stalker protagonist James's depressed mindset, but really, the film needs to, on a basic aesthetic level, visually appeal to our eyes. James, played by Anthony Malcar, isn't at all compelling either. Sure, there's a fair amount of him on paper, but Malcar really lets the side down with his acting. A protagonist doesn't need to be relatable or even particularly likable. God knows creepy stalker James isn't. But he does have to be interesting to spend time with. The big examples of this are De Niro's portrayal of Travis Bickle in Taxi Driver and Paddy Considine's Richard in Dead Man's Shoes. Like the film itself, and indeed the rest of the cast around him, Malcar is inert in the role. He and the other actors barely move around. At times it feels like you're watching a storyboard. The story, too, is painfully static. The plot just kind of shuffles forward while staring at its shoes and trying not to make eye contact with anyone. I also think there was supposed to be a reveal at the end about the state of a major character, but I had made the assumption that that was how the character was in the first place from the way they set them up, so was that supposed to be a reveal? I don't know, maybe. Get in touch on Twitter, at RJ Bayley. Let me know. All it left me with was confusion as to how the film was trying to communicate with me. Don't get me wrong, I applaud everyone for having a shot at this, and I hope they keep going with filmmaking, and I'd be very happy to give their next film a shot, but I watch a lot of independent, micro and no-budget horror movies, and I thought this one was dead from the beginning. Better go order my medication now. 1 out of 5 stars. Check out my creative projects like my recently released vampire audiobook via my Facebook page. Just search RJ Bayley Voice Artist and my website, rjbayley.com, or contact me on Twitter about that possible reveal at RJ Bayley. RJBAYLEY is spelled differently, I know. I think it means an Iron Age hill fort or something.